Hello and welcome to Measuremate. I am Jyoth and I'm the founder of Measuremate. Let me quickly give you a quick walkthrough of what Measuremate is and how Measuremate can be downloaded. So, Measuremate is a process automation tool for Google Analytics, and it gives Google Analytics for Google Tag Manager and BigQuery superpowers to the respective users. There are multiple modules within the tool itself, and something like tracking planners. There is a co-pilot. There is an instant actionable insights that can be found out from the Google Analytics 4. There is a tracking setup module which connects directly to Google Tag Manager. There are reporting modules. You can export your data to Excel, Sheets, Slack, Figma, or emails. And then there is also a lot of automated reports, so you can schedule all those reports, and you can find more details on the website here as well. And it's a more like a SaaS product and plugin which can be accessed from here. Once you go here, the journey continues on the Figma marketplace where the plugin actually sits, where you can download the plugin. The plugin is already live and into production, and there are a lot of scopes which have been already approved. We will cover that quickly in a minute. But to install the plugin, what you can do is you can open this, and you can select your Figma file that you want to work with. As soon as you open the Figma file, you will be redirected to your Figma file where the plugin actually loads, right? And you can run your plugin here, and the plugin will pop up right there, right? So Measuremate, and uh, you will see your journeys. If you have logged in previously, you will continue your journey from there. Cool. So let me tell you about the documentation in the first part of the video. I want to cover how we have structured our API scopes and how we document them. So if you can see my screen in the video, uh, this is the API scope documentation we maintain for the Google related API scopes, right? Primarily, Measuremate, we will go through the Measuremate use case. We will go through the different APIs that Measuremate connects to, allows users to connect to, and the scopes which have been approved and scopes that has not been approved, right? Uh, at a later stage, we will also go through the exact user journeys where we will showcase you in the UI itself how we are requesting for the scopes and how user approves those scopes and how those scopes are even utilized within the application. Cool. So Measurement is more of a tracking, reporting, and insight automation plugin that primarily connects with three major tools called Google Analytics, Google Tag Manager, and Google BigQuery. There are a lot of automations, APIs, and the idea is based on APIs, reducing the time to configuration of all these tools and get to insights faster, make reports easier for the end user, right? There are a lot of best practices templates which we provide, which can be directly pushed to Google Analytics 4, Google Tag Manager, and even Google BigQuery. The tool also connects to other products which are non-Google, and primarily it also connects to Google Sheets via Drive API. So we will cover that part as well. Overall, the flow is very simple. The user goes through an authentication, provides the email and name, which is a Google email flow, and then finally the user can connect GFO, Google Tag Manager, or BigQuery within the tool itself, where we manage all the integrations at one place. This is a sample use case. There are many such use cases. We will go through the relevant use cases required for the API scopes in more detail in the next sections of the video. So primarily, user logs in, he connects the GF4 account, logs in, he creates a project with proper GF4 properties and account, and then selects GF4 events that he wants to map with Figma. And for a Figma flow, the events are generated directly on the Figma canvas itself, right? So this is one example how we use data and integrate it with other tools. Uh, and there are different APIs as we mentioned. The three major APIs are GA4, Google Tag Manager, and Google BigQuery. And then there are certain other scopes, and then there is Sheets API. So 5 things to cover. Uh, Overall, for each scope, what we have given in this documentation, the link is also provided to you, is what are the scopes that we want. For example, in this case, we have requested for manage users read only scope, and the scope has been already approved because we had submitted this previously. What we also do is we provide a reason why we need the scope. So for example, you can see here that we need the scope to fetch users GA4 account, GA4 properties, and ability to connect to users GA4 account. Screenshots of each of the tool, for example, let's say, let me click here. Yeah, you will be showcased a proper screenshot that how we request the access and what are the different ways we use this particular scope within our application, right? So overall, yeah, we have updated this documentation. There are different statuses on the right. If you see, there is an approved status. So for all the scopes that are approved, we already submitted the details, it has been reviewed. There are certain scopes which has not been reviewed. So for them, what we have done is we have given all the details, and we have also mentioned here that review has been submitted, and that's what needs to be reviewed in this particular round of review. Yeah, same for Google Tag Manager API scopes, and for Drive API we are just using one scope, drive.file, and BigQuery, there is a read-only access and BigQuery access for creating models. And yeah, if you need any other details like privacy policies, terms, client ID that we are using, and our homepage requirements are already fulfilled in our previous review. So yeah, with that, let's get into the application, and let me show you how we are using, how the users are logging to the tool, and I will cover most of the scopes in very much detail, so please bear with me. Thank you so much. Okay, in this section of the video, what I'm going to show is how do we open the plugin, and once the plugin is open, how the user journeys are covered. So the plugin is available as a plugins and widget section of the Figma marketplace. Once the user clicks here, the plugin will open here within the Figma file itself, and as like previously also showcased, the user has to sign in with the Google account and ID. So these are the already approved scopes that the user, the new user would be providing, which is their user info dot email and primary user details, right? Once the user successfully logs in, the user has to go through an onboarding journey, like 2 questions, and once they answer the question, the user can connect the Google Analytics 4 with the tool itself, right? So this is the OAuth flow where we are requesting Google Analytics access from the user. Let me showcase. So right now, because one of the scope is not approved, we're getting this, and as we go here, you can see all the scopes that has been approved, as well as the newest scope that we have added is the edit Google Analytics management entities. So we will focus more on this particular scope during this video, because the rest of the scopes have been already approved. This is the new scope that we have added, but yeah, all the 4 scopes are visible right here into the screen. And as the Google authentication is completed, the user is redirected back to their Figma UI, where the user can create a project. Okay, so yep. So once the authentication is complete, uh, you the user will create its own its project. Like in this case, let's say a sample project is something that I'm creating. Because I have provided credentials, I can use my Google Analytics credentials associated with this email, and this is where we use Google Analytics APIs to fetch uh, accounts from Google Analytics of the user. So yeah, let me select this. Let me also select a property. Based on the account, we select a property, and we're able to create a project. And yeah, we are able to successfully log into the system by providing access to Google Analytics. Now, about the scope that we are discussing in this video, let me showcase you the scope that we are discussing in this video. So there are a lot of scopes we use for GA4 API, like read-only, analytics read-only, and analytics edit. So there are total 3 scopes. 2 of them are approved, and the last one, which is the edit scope, which is not yet approved. And this is what we are trying to go through in this video. So the edit scope is particularly used in one of the module where we have a measurement plan builder, where the user can go and if they have already created a UI which they want to track. If not, they can create a UI which is required, which requires the tracking. So once the UI is created, right, what we do here is we have event section, we have parameters. So if I want to just showcase a demo that how do we edit user's Google Analytics account. So let me also open Google Analytics account of the user. So this is where the property that we have attached with Measuremate will be opened here. So yeah, I think this is the one, and yeah, we are into the data display, custom definitions, primarily the admin section, where particularly there is no custom dimensions as of now. Now this is where I want to create one, right? So for example, for this client, we want to create a car underscore brand as a parameter name. Let's say car brand, and I have to say brand of the car. Want to make it as a dimension, keep it as an event, and I want to make it as a custom dimensions with some dynamic values. And the example value is, let's say BMW is one of the car brand names. Once I add this to the measurement, and when I see parameter has been saved successfully, I can see my parameters listed here, as well as I can also refresh this window to understand if the parameter has been created here or not. Right, so if you can see, the car brand of the car, event car brand has already been created, and with the proper values, like brand of the car, the values I gave here have been created, and this is where we use the edit scope of Google Analytics, where the parameters which have to be configured within Google Analytics are configured using this particular edit scope. Good. Let's move to the next section. Okay, so in this section of the video, what we're going to see is Google Tag Manager API related scopes. So totally new, because this is a new feature that we have added to the app itself. So you can see, first of all, we're getting manage accounts access to connect to the Google Tag Manager, and then we need a read-only access to fetch different workspaces from the user's Google Tag Manager account and containers, and finally to push the different tags or templated tags. We want to have an edit access to the container. and this is what I'm going to show you in this part of the video. So here's how it works. So a new user who has been into, let's say, let me just activate a demo plan here, and what a user would do is primarily they can go to either manage integrations and then go to Google Tag Manager and complete the integrations here, or they can also go to tracking and setup, and they would have a pop-up that you need to integrate Google Tag Manager to push different tags like Google Ads, Meta Ads, LinkedIn Insight Tag, TikTok Ads. They need to integrate the Google Tag Manager. Once they click here, the pop-up can be dismissed. They can go here and into the credentials. The user will generally go through the similar credential journey and connect their Google Tag Manager accounts. Right. So since these scopes are not verified yet, this is the error that comes up. And as the user continues, these are the scopes. The 3 scopes that we are documented here are properly displayed, and as the user continue, the user is taken back to the Google Tag Manager section, and you can see the credentials have populated, and now user can select whatever account they want to push the tags into can be easily selected. Right, so this is where we use the API to fetch user's account. For a particular account, we fetch user's container. So the first scope that we displayed is used here. Once you save your credentials, what happens is you can simply go to tracking and setup, and for example, I can go to the LinkedIn Insight tag. What we use here is the read-only access to the Google Tag Manager to fetch their workspaces, right? So if you want to push a LinkedIn Insight tag to the Google Tag Manager, this is where we use the second scope that has been mentioned here, which is the read-only Tag Manager read-only scope. And finally, once you have access to one of the workspace, you select it here, and whatever tag configurations you want to push in, let's say personalization as a consent setting. We use the third scope here where we actually push the tags to Google Tag Manager. Right, so it says the Google Tag Manager configuration has been pushed, and this is where the last scope, which is the edit container scope, has been used. Let me quickly go to the container and see if we can see the tag which has been pushed recently. Right, so we are using Nini's GTM workspace, and there we go. So you see here LinkedIn tag that we discussed, there is a variable that has been pushed, which is the LinkedIn partner ID variable, which user needs to configure, and the next one is the tag that has been automatically pushed by the tool itself. Right, so it's pretty much very easy to work with the tool and push different Google Tag Manager settings right from the Measuremate. In this video, we will cover BigQuery API scopes. So there are 2 different scopes we have submitted for review. Number 1 is BigQuery read-only scope, and number 2 is BigQuery auth BigQuery scope. Right, both scope has been documented, and let me showcase how do we work with them. So inside the insights module, whenever, for example, we want to generate insights from the data, we would have conversion journey insights. For example, you can go to the insight section and you see an pop-up that you need to integrate BigQuery. The user can go to manage integrations page and open BigQuery right here. Go to the credentials. Very similar process like the others. You can select your account. Since the scopes are not approved, we see this particular error, and when we go here, go next, these are the 2 scopes that we requested for approval, and as the user provides the scope, the BigQuery credentials are updated in real time. So new BigQuery credentials has been added, you can actually select one of your projects to work with, and within a project you can also select data that you want to work with. Right, so all this uses the read-only scope, the first scope that we have applied for. And when you go to the actual module, like insights module, and try to create insight journeys, like aggregated journeys by events for, let's say, around like a week or so. And these are the events that we fetch from BigQuery using the read-only scope. And for example, just to give you a very small glimpse of it, the user can generate the insights right from here itself, and all the BigQuery data is now turned into good amount of insights for them, like how the customers are going through different journeys, like going to different pages, refreshing the pages, purchase, convert, add to cart, etc. So this is one of the usage of read-only scope. We read the data, we find out the insights, and then there is another scope which is BigQuery OAuth scope, which we particularly require for a set of model creation within BigQuery. So all the documentation have been already there. This is where we create an RFM documentation, but this RFM is a special type of RFM called K-means AI based RFM, where we use BigQuery's machine learning techniques. So user selects BigQuery ML, and that is where the BigQuery will be able to create a model based on the start date and end date. The model will be started. So once the model is complete, what we get is the user generally receives an email. So let me quickly open my email here and try to showcase you how do we get the results into the inbox itself. Okay, so yeah, right now you can see that there is no RFM analysis available yet, because the model is running in the background. The model is being created into the BigQuery with the proper access that we have provided, and as soon as the model is complete, we should be receiving an email right here in your inbox, like your RFM K-means insights for this particular model is ready, and user can click on the results, and the model itself has certain values which are prepared, can be seen in the 3D scatter plot, in which gives a good representation of K-means. So yeah, these are all different values created by the model. So yeah, these are the BigQuery related scopes. In this video we will cover the last scope, which is for Drive API, and the scope is drive.file. It is a scope that allows us to fetch a spreadsheet related details and populate data into the Google spreadsheet. This scope only provides access to a very particular file selected by the user itself. Let me showcase how. You go to the Google Sheets, add your Google account here. Once you authenticate, right, very specific Google Drive files, and continue, the credentials are stored when you save the credentials. And as soon as you go to schedule reports, under schedule reports there is a section for Google Sheets where you can go and select a Google Sheet from a picker API. So we use Google Picker API to populate this, and let's say user selects one file from which the sheet is selected successfully. Once the sheet is selected, sheet is populated here, and user can also select a particular sheet where the data should be populated, and let's say this is a Google sample data report, and I can select any queries which I want to populate, select last 7 days, whatever you want to select, and queries are auto populated based on the connected BigQuery account. And yeah, if everything is well, you can send a test alert here. So the moment you send a test alert, it would fetch the Google Sheet and also extract data from BigQuery and push this data directly to the sheet that we just now created. So for example, let me go to my drive, and yeah, I think the one which we created right now is under the folder measurement. This is the file where the data should be populated. So all the data points, the query that we had written, the data has been populated into this file. So pretty easy and very limited scope to a particular file. Thank you.